Hey yo, what's good guys? It's Gabby up here, also known as Tenchi Kun, here with the first of many videos in this quarantine series. So what I'd like to talk about today would be fashion. Fashion in a post-pandemic world. So what's next for fashion? Well, we can't go outside to buy the clothes we want anymore, right? So what I believe is gonna happen would be a total reconstruction of the industry. This affects me because one of my main side hustles would be to sell and resell vintage clothing. Buy from thrifts, ukay-ukay, online, wherever I could find them. And I'd sell them to people I knew. And because of this pandemic, I don't really have anyone to sell to. Because of this pandemic, it has exposed multiple issues that have been on the fringes of fashion since the very beginning. That's the means of production or retail, events planning, online shopping, etc. So, because of this, more people will opt for online shopping more so than actual physical retail. That'll mean apps like Sneakers, Cop Date, or whatever would be extremely essential for those looking to buy sneakers or streetwear. So, because of this pandemic, people will now be focused more on what they need than what they actually want. So, let's say we have a guy with some money to spend, a rich dude. He could choose between going for LV or going for some home, pambahay, sleepwear, whatever, you know? And because of the situation we're in, it's not viable to buy luxury goods anymore. So we would rather opt for that sleepwear or for that normcore whatever than to actually buy a luxury item. People would rather buy their essentials right now over what they actually want because lives are at stake. Would you really risk your life for some Gucci shirt, Gucci linen? And what are you gonna do with it? You're just gonna wear it at home, strutting around with a fucking Gucci ass sweatshirt, dude. This will become difficult for upcoming brands and also for new entrepreneurs trying to get on the game, get on the scene. So no one would really go out to buy anything other than their essentials. So if I was a new brand trying to come up and sell someone t-shirts or hoodies, they wouldn't really get the graphic tee, the stylized tee, the hoodie, and would prefer something that they could use in their everyday life. So my next point would be the acceleration of digitalization. So in the Philippines, in what was a timeline of 10 to 20 years for the country to fully digitalize, is now shortened to 3 to 4 months. We are forced to adapt. We are forced to digitalize in this new normal. So mainstream stores that I usually go to, like let's say Titan, Soul Academy, Commonwealth, are all shifting towards online transactions, online commerce. So that puts more emphasis on their websites and their online apps. So an example of this would be Titan. Just recently, the Air Jordan 1 Court Purples just dropped. I took an L, but they dropped online. And we can see Titan actually utilizing their online presence in order to still drop sneakers, still drop clothing like Space Jam collection in order to earn revenue. Other than this, there are big sales occurring across all fashion markets right now due to the plummet in sales. From what I remember, it's a 34% plummet in sales worldwide in the fashion industry, and that's huge. An example of this is Commonwealth. From what I remember, they have a 25% off sale right now. And I think they just recently extended it. So if you ever want to cop some cheap Nike or Adidas, well, cheap is relative, then head on over to Commonwealth and buy using their 25% off code. Going into smaller stores, one of my favorite stores ever is called Season Pass. Basically a thrift store like that sells vintage clothing, streetwear, that type of stuff. So smaller stores like Season Pass used to have a community sale every month. And I would go to these sales. Basically, multiple sellers would group up in the venue, just buy, sell, trade, whatever, hang out, you know. It was fun. It was cool. I really loved the community sale. But because of this pandemic, those events don't happen anymore. And what Season Pass has done, they've moved their community sale online through their Instagram and through their website. So buyers, multiple buyers would, again, buy, sell, trade on Instagram. Another example of a small store trying to adapt to this new normal is Future Rare. So Future Rare is a store I used to visit frequently as well. So they still have their brick and mortar store operating under these conditions despite the lockdown. They're still continuing operations. They still sell clothes, they sell their jewelry, they sell whatever, as long as you follow 3 simple guidelines. No mask, no entry, sanitize before entering, and strict social distancing. This brings me to my next point, masks. So fashion is now gearing towards masks as a trend. Imagine that. I thought masks were tacky, like way back, and now they're actually some sort of a fashion statement. Okay, so imagine going to the grocery and some dude, some rich kid pulls up with his Bape face mask, flexing on y'all, banging on my chest type shit.
Fuck your bag, homie. What up? I don't care, banging on my chest.
It's a new fashion trend. Like, let's get that out of the way. It's perpetuated by this pandemic, and I think this trend will last at least until the end of this quarantine, at least until the end of this pandemic. So instead of being used just for medical purposes, it is now a fashion statement. It is now a cultural statement. So more businesses, big and small, are capsizing on masks. Human made, future wear, airism, as many others. These masks have actually been going around since Paris Fashion Week in February. So that was just, I guess, the start of the coronavirus spreading across the world, the start of the pandemic. Back when Paris Fashion Week was still happening, people were wearing like custom Gucci masks with ventilators, or Louis Vuitton masks, or any kind of high-end masks people could come up with. They were there. And I guess that was the start. That was the beginning of this trend. Because as many of my community members know, in the fashion industry, most trends are perpetuated by Fashion Week. Like, most trends come from fashion shows, Fashion Week. And then they trickle down to the lower, like, classes, like lower end, like H&M, like Zara, wherever fast fashion can find it. So this is big. Masks. I see both big and small businesses trying to get into the business of masks, of trying to make reusable ones, silicone ones, cloth ones, as many materials as you can think of, with different designs, different ways of, tying the ear loop. I don't know what they called, man. But like, basically, instead of actual like clothing, like having an expensive t-shirt, expensive pair of pants, like flexing on people with sneakers, well, now people are doing it with masks. And if you asked me 3 months ago if masks would become a thing, I wouldn't believe you. But we live in crazy times, man. So for my final thoughts, when will it recover? When will fashion recover? In my opinion, I don't think fashion ever will recover from this, at least in the way that we expect it to. It will never return to normal because of the digitalization, because we have accelerated the timeline by so much that going back the normal way won't ever work anymore. We have exposed too many flaws in the system for it to ever work the same as it once was. So after this pandemic is over, after the lockdown ends, after quarantine is over, when we could all go outside again, albeit in the new normal, fashion will never be the same. I believe some stores, some brick and mortar stores will close, never open again. But in its stead, online shopping will become the key to a brand's success, will be the essential tool for a business to actually get off the ground. And that's it. So, alright, stay safe everyone. This is Gabiap, also known as Tenchi Kun. See you in another video.